Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match in the DUBAI Sevens. This one's an absolutely huge one. They said the last 10 times that these two sides have met in the DUBAI Sevens, it has been in some sort of final. This is group stage play, and currently New Zealand, this is a must win if they want any chance of making it further in the competition. Looking through at the Fijian starting lineup, it is going to be Vakurabili in that starting lineup alongside Talatholo, Matana, Nathunu, Salturanga, Bukayaro, and Narovalo, the last man in that Fijian starting side. Then New Zealand, Sam Dixon, Tony Nshu, Amanaki Nicole, Joe Weber, Regan Ware, Rockali Soa, and Moses Leo for the Kiwis. Now, they did have the upset loss in their first game, New Zealand, up against Argentina, who have just been able to get themselves a solid win over Uruguay, which is why this game is so important for New Zealand to win. Pretty much they have to hope that Argentina lose their game to Fiji and they other side are able to get themselves a victory. But Fiji having a big win up against Uruguay in their opening game, 52 points to nil. They'll be looking to continue that momentum and they want to get as far in this competition as they physically can. They missed out in Hong Kong trying to get the gold. Got a good chance being able to get it in Dubai. We got Fiji go. Says Pele there, Aussie, oi, from Young Boy Pete. And also we have got, I think Fiji will win, but hope New Zealand will win. Says Nov Mum there as well. Currently sitting 11 past 11 here in New Zealand. The Fijians saying their last minute prayers before this matchup, and they have certainly been a beast to play up against, as we've learned in that game between themselves and Uruguay. But Argentina also putting on a very good score up against the side from Uruguay as well. But Nathunu about to kick us off for Fiji versus New Zealand. Every time these two sides play, it is fireworks, and this is going to be no different. Nicely taken by Sam Dixon for the Kiwis. It was captain to captain. Now Amanaki Nicole. In fact, it was Regan Ware goes across. A little bit of a rough pass there from Weber to get us underway. Tony Nshu trying to break his way through this Fijian defense. And always in the statistics, you see a lot more of Fiji in the breakdowns than any other side in the World Sevens circuit. But a great run forward from Regan Ware. Strong carry by him. Number 64 on his back, Rockali Soa. Now with the inside ball, Joe Weber. The skip pass. It's going to be dropped by Fiji. And unfortunately, it's going to be a yellow card. It's one of those rules that if you do go for the ball and you drop it and it's a kind of chance for the opposition with the pass, it does mean that you get yellow carded. So Matana off the field for the next 2 minutes and Rockali Soa straight through. Bukayaro, he's not going to catch him, and Rockali Soa runs it in. Gets the first try of the match for New Zealand. And Jeremiah Matana, he'll be disappointed with that one because the thing is, it's a risk and reward type scenario. If you catch it, you're getting a try at one end. If you drop it, you're getting a yellow card against you. Go Samoa and Fiji, says Pele, and also my 13-year-old has grown 13 centimeters since September last year. Geez, that's a fair bit. It's like that, isn't it? Growing big time. Going to be a 2-meter tall individual. And also we have got go Kiwis, says Peter Stowers there, but Rockali Soa, he's got plenty of pace, just able to outpace Narovalo with the man advantage. And New Zealand leading 5 points to nil. It's going to be a relatively tricky kick for Rockali Soa. He's missed it away to the side. Score now going to be 5-0. But New Zealand in the power play already from the sin bin. They've got themselves that try early. But Fiji, they'll be looking to fire back as soon as physically possible. Just drift in the 10 meters. That's a penalty against New Zealand, I would think, for taking the player in the air. For me, yep, double blow of the whistle. Time is off. I think this is going to be at least a yellow card for Sam Dixon here for taking the man out in the air. It's got to be. They're consistent. He tries to slap him back, but he does make contact with the man in the air. The way that the ruling is if you make any contact with a player who's up there, you do get yellow carded. So Sam Dixon, I believe, pulling in the air, penalty to Fiji, just a penalty. Okay, I don't know about that. I would have had it as a yellow card against Sam Dixon. Landed quite hard. Nathunu probably lucky that he wasn't more seriously injured. In fact, it wasn't Nathunu who went up, but yeah, he tries to slap the ball. But, Saturanga, he did get a bit of contact with Dixon from that angle. It wasn't as much as initially looked like, but I thought it could have still been possible penalty at least. I feel like at least Fiji have got the ball here. That is going to be theirs, but it's out the back, and New Zealand now contesting. Sam Dixon look for it. I believe he knocked it backwards, so it is going to be now play on. Fiji slinging it wide out to a side with not a lot of space. That is going to be Josefa Talathola. They were hoping for a miracle to get him over there. Sam Dixon, bit of a counter ruck. Doesn't quite get his way over. Now in the midfield. Nice step from Vakurarabili. Sitting 25 metres out from their own line here. Fiji, oh man, come on, Fiji, says Pele there now. Another step already, 3 minutes down in this contest. As soon as we have a penalty or anything, just like they have there, I believe Nathunu will know that that yellow card is almost up, and now they do return back to having 7 men on the field. So strategic from Fiji to just wait that little bit longer. Kicking it downfield, a great kick. Good opportunity on halfway for the Flying Fijians to make some real meters here. I won't mention anyone who is new. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Anyone wondering about the cricket, just briefly, because we did cover cricket earlier. Pakistan sitting 108 for none on the surface up against England. But back to the line out. Now it wasn't straight. Unfortunately, Bukayaro straight away just knocks himself on the head and says that was not the one that they were wanting. And also we have got there, Fiji been disappointing, Says Sam, only in the first 3 minutes of this game. Like before this game, they beat Uruguay 52-0, which was a very good performance. But I think they just are yet to get themselves a really good attacking opportunity up against New Zealand. And as soon as they do, we'll know because they'll score. That's the way that the Fijians play. It's all-out attack when they get the opportunity. But for now, New Zealand, they've been doing well with the possession stat, keeping it on their side. Go Fiji, says Billy, and let's go Fiji, says Diane. Now down the wing, Moses Leo. Looks like he's going to outpace Bukayaro as well. And that will be another try for New Zealand. That'll make it 10-0 now in favour of the Kiwis. I feel bad. In fact, it was Nadovalo rather than Bukayaro. But Nadovalo, he's had to try and chase down Moses Leo. He was unsuccessful. He has had to try and chase down Rocco Lisoa. He was unsuccessful. He's just not quite quick enough to catch the two Kiwi wingers. He at least had a decent crack at the ankle tap there. Just almost, but no cigar for Nodovalo out on the wing. So New Zealand now leading 10 points to 0. They've got the kick to come. Go New Zealand. Here's Peter Stowers there. Leo showing off his pace off the bench in this game. They've got Caleb Tangitau, also known as a bit of a speedster. Brady Rush scoring late in that game up against Argentina, but it wasn't enough to get the Kiwis the victory, which is why a win here was so crucial for New Zealand. And then it becomes the question of, will it be Fiji or Argentina, who are the other side that make their way through? If New Zealand were able to do so, nicely done by Sam Dixon. Waiting for that ball to go down. Bukayaro goes back across now. Talatholo involved in the midfield. Here come Fiji. Nadovalo. He gets to test out his speed. Tackled on the halfway line by Moses Leo. Offload up to Vakurarabili. Now looking for that inside ball. That was high from Tony Nashu. And it's going to be going back for the penalty. Come on, Fiji, says Billy, and New Zealand flags from Peter Stowers. Right. Believe they might consider just taking this quick tap again for the Fijians. Or do they want the scrum? They take the tap, and they will now go 60 seconds left in this first half. They're currently 12-0 down. That kick was successful from New Zealand. I forgot to mention that. But Saturanga now trying to go around on the outside. Good tackle made by Dixon. He's been everywhere at the moment for New Zealand, almost too much. In some regards, he almost gave away the penalty in that breakdown. They've got numbers on the outside. Talatolo cutting through. Here it comes, the big man. And that's going to be the first try for Fiji. Like I mentioned, as soon as they get an attack, they make the absolute most of it. And Talatolo able to score the try for Fiji. Growing a beard at the moment, that man, Talatolo. He didn't have one last time in the Sevens circuit. As long as he's not growing in height, because he's already a very tall individual, Talatholo, and just strides with those long levers that he calls legs. Scores the try. 5 points on the board for Fiji. This will be an easy conversion, Diana said. Yes, Fiji as well there. There we go. Straight over the post. I believe there's still time for one last kick. So 12 points for New Zealand, 7 for Fiji. Anytime these two sides play, it's always a close matchup. And they know how to put on a show when they're out there on the Sevens field. Anytime someone says, if I had to watch one game of Sevens, what should it be? A lot of people would say New Zealand, Fiji. And not just because it kind of rhymes. That's going to be knocked back by Talatholo. Regan Ware almost ends up with that ball just going into touch. It would have been a knock on, and that is now halftime in this matchup between Fiji and New Zealand. A tight game, like they're saying. New Zealand ranked 9th after last week or last leg's Sevens experience. They didn't quite get it right, whereas the Fijians, they made it through to the final, but they were beaten by Australia. And I was like, yes, Fiji. So here's Pele there. Only 9th ranked. New Zealand, they were disappointing in Hong Kong. They really didn't find their feet in the group stage. They had a couple other tough sides in their group. They were beaten by Samoa. They were then also beaten by Australia, I believe. And that caused them to be missing out. Just that points differential didn't quite go the way that they needed it to. Looking through at the benches of both of these sides, Kurt Baker, Brady Rush, Leroy Carter, Caleb Tangitau, and Shay Clark, the youngster for New Zealand. Then for Fiji, Mothin Othangi, Naduva, a bit of a new name there. My Samoa, Ratu Rathiri, I should say. And also it is Walangi. I have to move my head to the side because my microphone is just in the way of those two names. Fiji, they have made 3 tackles. They've missed 2. New Zealand have had more line breaks. 6 tackles made, 1 missed tackle there. So they're making a few out there on the park, still making sure they get those important tackles. But Fiji, with the fact that they've only had 1 real attack and they've been able to score, that should make New Zealand a little bit cautious in the second half because of how dangerous the Fijians could be. But New Zealand, they would have been disappointed to lose to Argentina. That is a game that they were, and what you'd say, a relatively box seat. But now the question is, they're kind of not to the same extent in the box seat up against the Fijians, but they've got a lead. They need to know how to keep one if they want to win this contest, or else Fiji, they get a converted try straight away, they are in the lead. If they end up getting a try without the conversion, we're drawing. Which could add a bit more interest into the pool. That would help out Argentina massively if both of these sides weren't able to get those extra points on the board. Carl Tanano on the commentary has just said, whoever gets the first try of the second half, they'll be in the box seat. And also, it will also probably end up playing a factor in when the sides use their subs. Second half now underway between New Zealand and Fiji. New Zealand will be kicking this one off from right to left. It is Rockali Soa. He's gone deep, going towards the 22. Nice take from, it was Bokayaro, knocked down by Tony Nyashu. They've said it's a knock on. Now going to the side, almost. Fiji having a bit of a hesitation there. Good tackle made by Tony Nyashu once again. My Samoa, he is actually out on the field, so they decided to make that sub relatively early for the Fijians. Now back in the pace here. Sato Rangawakanida, great tackle made. Tries to find the offload. Sits straight up to Joe Weber. Flicks it back onto the side of New Zealand. Rockali Soa keeps it alive. Now Weir goes across. Now Moses Leo, one of the try scorers for the Kiwis. Nyashu with the step gives it off to Amanaki Nicole. He's got size, but a few of the Fijians certainly muscle up with him. Regan Weir cross to Dixon. Just 30 metres out from the Fijian line now. Rockali Soa trying to find his way through. Has to spin backwards. Try and find that gap. Moses Leo now cuts forward. Almost tackled a bit high, but I believe it was on the shoulder. No, they've called it as advantage for the high tackle. Tony Nyashu cuts back on the inside. Gives it off to Amanaki Nicole. Bounce past the Rockali Soa. New Zealand numbers on the right-hand side if they need them. They instead go back to Weber, who heads left. This is a long face for the Kiwis. I'm going to run out of oxygen soon. Regan Weir, one more pass on the outside. Amanaki Nicole trying to pass. Oh no, he just ends up taking the contact. Ball pops out the back. They're asking for the knock on. Referee says no. Now Weber back across to Rockali Soa. He's got the men on the left. He's cutting through. Finds the offload up to Moses Leo again. Regan Weir back across. This has to be stamina draining for the Fijians. Nyashu cuts forward. Breaks through the tackle and scores the try for New Zealand. Big boys, the Samoans, they certainly are. And they're missing one of their biggest boys in there, which is Malani Matavao. Unfortunately, going to be missing from their next matchup, which is a shame because he's a brilliant player. I would have loved to see him there. And Samoan kid in the gym. His legs the size of tree trunks. See his young boy Pete. Very strong built to be able to really break through any tackle that they want to. These big Samoan and Fijian boys, the Pacific Islanders. Tony Nyashu managed to break through a tackle of his own. I think it was Nathunu. Looks like he might have done his shoulder in the process, which is not what the Fijians will be after. They want to have all of their players in one piece. Like they've said, didn't force it. trying to just break his way through. And also we have got the OMG, says Pele, and they're talking about maybe that right strapping or the hand strapping on the right-hand side of Nathuna might actually be where that injury is rather than the shoulder. 19 passes for New Zealand to get through Fiji's impressive defensive line. But now New Zealand, with that conversion going over, sit 19 points to 7 up against the Flying Fijians. The thing is, there have been so many upsets throughout this competition already. We've already seen Kenya draw with the USA, with Australia. We've seen a big win earlier on for Argentina over New Zealand. Alongside that, there was also a game in between. Great Britain beating South Africa. Caleb Tangi Tau, the newly acquired Blue. Oh, did he get it over the line? They might have to check this one because Caleb Tangi Tau, he absolutely slammed that ball into the turf, but I don't know if he actually got it down successfully. Like they've said, if it's a try, it's a long way back. That's a try. He slammed it hard, Caleb Tangi Tau. Like I mentioned, the newly acquired Blues representative. He's the only man in the Sevens who actually got in there. And also we have got the "Who Stop Boasting" jokes, says Nazi Williams, in there as well. And like they've said, it may have just kept New Zealand in contention. Unfortunately, one of these great sides out of New Zealand, Fiji, or Argentina will be missing out on a quarterfinal. You got to hope that it's not the Fijians. They've been in so many competitions over the years. They'll have to beat Argentina, I believe, and Roca Lisoa has nailed it from the touchline, but it was just short. It was a tough kick. Get the distance on it, but 24 points to 7. New Zealand currently sitting, but Caleb Tangi Tau, a man who was able to get that try. Right. Fiji, they need 3 converted tries in 3 minutes. Or in fact, you could get away with 2 converted tries and 1 non-successful conversion. Now, trying to slap it backwards by White. I thought New Zealand might have got a bit of a knock on there. That's going to be the penalty to Fiji, though. It looks like there's an injury of some sort. My son Mo is staying down, and they've actually decided to continue going. Bukayaro just said, no, we need to keep on going. We don't have time to stop here. If you're the Flying Fijians, a little bit of a handling error, though, not what they want. Creeping in, another handling error. It's going to be a special end to the match if Fiji can get themselves back into this contest. Nice work by Jeremiah Matana. And okay, keep it up, New Zealand. Says Nov Mama Mitch Stark getting the job done. Yeah, he bowled very well, Starkey. In that match, nice break of the line. Almost a knock-on from Fiji, but finding the offload to Talatholo. Has to sidestep around the referee as well. Now a low tackle attempt from Leroy Carter. Just bumps off Tangi Tau. One more pass from Fiji. Inside ball. They are just going to keep on going. I think that was Mothino Thangi, but he might have dropped it. Yes, it is the knock-on against Fiji, but geez. There were some big shots coming in there. Mothino Thangi just shoves off Leroy Carter. Then he just grabs Tangatau by the throat almost and says, nope, you are not getting me. But in the end, Tangatau just enough to be able to slow him down. Currently Fiji, though, 1 minute 50 remaining, and they are going to have to scrum against them. This is probably about the worst case scenario for Fiji to have if they were trying to get back into the contest and get a win. I mentioned it. They need 3 successful tries, 2 of which converted. Going to be a tricky one. In fact, no, they could get away with 1 successfully converted and 2 non-successful. We'll go a little bit further. They could get a draw in this one. But either way, the time is back on and the scrum is about to go down. New Zealand, they've got a lot of veterans in their side. I wouldn't be surprised if this scrum gets a little bit shaky. Yep, there's Kurt Baker asking the referee whether or not Naduva's able to stand where he is. That is all about using up a little bit of extra time. And also we have got there Fiji coming next, came for the champ. So here's Ballet there available for Kurt Baker off to the left-hand side. New Zealand really put in a statement victory here over the Fijians, who are a tough side. We've actually seen a lot of the top sides beaten in the first round and the second. We've seen South Africa defeated. We have seen Fiji now with a defeat under their belt. Nice offload on the outside of Sam Dixon. They've said that it's gone backwards. Now he's running backwards, slinging it back across. New Zealand, game management here. Kurt Baker not in any hurry to attack the line. He's been tackled hard, and it's a 4 pass in the process. Oh, Baker having a bit of a wrestle with my son Moa. Now another player being taken down. Oh, Fiji, you're not allowed to go in there like that. I think that's the youngster, Tera Walangi. He's not too happy. He's got Patterson written on his back, but I think Starting to build up a little bit more of the rivalry by the sounds of it, like the commentators are saying. Yellow card for Fiji. It's going to be the scrum for White. In fact, it's a yellow card against Kurt Baker for being naughty after the ball had gone around. And wow, what a scoreline. Here's a big one at the moment for the Kiwis. So pretty much my Samoa, he did the tackle on Kurt Baker. Baker gave him a bit of a push afterwards. And my Samoa actually is in the bin for 2 minutes as well. So neither player getting away with that one. And keep piling up the points. New Zealand says Peter Stowers. Both teams playing with 6 for this moment of the game. But the Fijians about to feed it in. Don't worry, Fiji says Peter. Yeah, they still got a very good chance of qualifying. All they need to do is beat Argentina. And they will be through to the next stage, I believe. Based off points differential, as they did have a big one. Nicely done by Leroy Carter. Brilliantly picked up. Now Sam Dixon passes back across to Caleb Tangitau. 20 seconds left on the clock. New Zealand looking like they want to get one more try on the board. Holding the ball in one hand. It was Moses Leo now passed on the outside. In fact, that's not Moses Leo. Who was that? I want to say that was actually Shay Clark who had the ball. He hasn't had much time for the Kiwis out there on the park so far. Offload from Tangitau. Goes to Leroy Carter. Now he's got Dixon with him instead. Will just kick this ball into touch, and New Zealand victorious over the Fijians, 24 points to 7. A nice win for the New Zealanders, bouncing back after their defeat to Los Pumas. Now we'll be looking forward to their next game where they do have to beat the Uruguay side by quite a winning margin. But thank you all very much for tuning into this live stream. Our next one will be taking place at about 12:20 a.m. New Zealand time, and that will be the matchup between South Africa and the Kenyans. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all for the next one.